The last of 4 aging hydroelectric dams was removed this year from the Klamath River, which stretches about 400 kilometers from southern Oregon to the California coast. It is the largest dam removal project ever undertaken, with a goal of restoring the river's health and bringing back the migrating fish that once thrived here. The massive effort appears to be paying off. Just 2 months after the final dam was removed, salmon were spotted, spawning in a tributary of the river that has been out of reach for over 100 years. But undoing a century-old human intervention comes with its own environmental risks.
Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Dave Kaufman is the Lower Klamath Project Program Manager for Resource Environmental Solutions. He has been preparing for this moment for more than 5 years.
Ultimately, the healing of the river and its long-term potential for improvement outweighed the short-term impacts.
Draining the reservoirs behind the dams released tons of accumulated sediment. The muddy water lacked oxygen, killing some fish. Once drained, nearly 900 hectares of thick muck remained, trapping some animals that were searching for water. Now dried, the reservoir floors are treacherous terrains that challenge revegetation efforts.
We're not planting in soil. We're planting in dead algae matter that had really formed this muck of a reservoir bottom that, since it has dried, has gotten as hard as concrete.
Over the past 5 years, teams of mostly Yurok tribal members have been gathering seeds from indigenous plants and trees. Establishing native plants prevents invasive species from taking over and severely limiting not only the plant species, but also the animal species that can live here. Beginning last spring, seeds were dropped by helicopter and by hand to take advantage of the last rains before the summer heat.
It was about 65,000 pounds, almost 66,000 pounds of seed. Year 1 was fantastic. The hand sowing was wildly successful, and when you walked out into that landscape, it was teeming with life. Bees, all kinds of pollinators, birds, mammals.
But not all creatures are welcome. Wild horses roam freely and graze on vegetation here. The herd, which was assembled by a local rancher to suppress wildfires, now threatens the revegetation effort.
The population of feral horses on the landscape has increased from a handful to over probably 200 right now.
You can see here we do have some horse damage, some hoof damage from the horses just coming in here and tearing things up. They're also a vector for introducing invasive species.
The team is installing another 15 kilometers of fencing to keep out the horses and is removing weeds by hand as part of restoration efforts that are expected to continue here for at least another 5 years. Matt Dibble, VOA News, on the Klamath River in Hornbrook, California.